Prepare to reap the whirlwind, gentlemen and ladies, because today we're going to The Rock on Garage Movie Reviews. Hello and welcome to Garage Movie Reviews, the show where I review all the movies in my collection, which happen to be in boxes behind me because I'm Levi, the Garage Movie Guy. Welcome to my garage. I'm so excited today to talk about this movie. We're talking about the 1996 action extravaganza, the second feature film by Michael Bay, The Rock. The Rock is rated R, and when it was released, I wasn't quite 18 years old. I remember my parents took me to see this movie, and I am eternally grateful to them for that. Thank you, Mom and Dad, because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got action, it's got comedy, it's got explosions, people's faces melting off. It's actually got pretty good character development for a movie featuring those things. I remember sitting in the theater the first time I watched this movie, and it just sort of washed over me from the very opening scene where Francis X. Hummel goes to his wife's grave and explains what he's going to do throughout the rest of the film. That Hans Zimmer score coming in, it just grabbed me and never really let go. The Rock stars Nicolas Cage as a self-proclaimed chemical super freak. He's Agent Stanley Goodspeed with the FBI. He likes his job in the lab, and he really has no desire to go out into the field. He's called into action when General Francis X. Hummel, played by Ed Harris, commandeers 6 chemical weapons and stations himself on Alcatraz Island 2 kilometers off the coast of San Francisco, and he takes the city hostage. The government has Stanley Goodspeed to take care of the weapons, but they need somebody with a working knowledge of the prison, and for this, they go to the only man alive who's escaped Alcatraz. John Mason, played by Sean Connery. Goodspeed and Mason must work together to take down Hummel and his group of mercenary ex-military men. As you would expect for any good American action movie, there's a lot of gunplay, explosions, there's a car chase, and there's also a lot of interesting one-liners.
What kind of up toy is this?
But one thing that The Rock brings to the table that some other action movies don't is depth of character. I think this is most obvious in the portrayal of General Hummel by Ed Harris, a very talented actor. If you haven't seen him in Westworld on HBO, you should definitely check that out. He plays a character called the Man in Black. I don't want to say much more than that, but his acting chops definitely shine in that TV show. But in The Rock, he plays General Hummel as someone who's very conflicted. He loves his country, but he's very frustrated with something his country's done. Ed Harris brings this humanity to him, and you almost feel bad for him as he's doing these horrible things. Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery really hit it off on screen, Stanley Goodspeed being the fish out of water, and James Mason being the caged bird who gets to spread his wings again and kick some butt.
May I also suggest a haircut?
Am I out of style?
Unless you're a 20-year-old guitarist from Seattle. It's a grunge thing.
Grunge.
In pre-production, it was planned to shoot The Rock in LA, but Michael Bay insisted that they shoot on the island. He felt that recreating the feeling of being on the island in a soundstage was just not possible. And I think he's right. One of the best characters in this movie is the island and the prison. Another person who deserves a lot of credit for the depth of General Hummel's character is Don Simpson. He's part of the great producing team of Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, who had previously produced movies like Days of Thunder, Beverly Hills Cop, Crimson Tide, as well as Bad Boys, Michael Bay's first feature film released just the year before. Apparently Don Simpson was the one to talk to Ed Harris and get him to do the movie because at the time, they didn't really have much of a script. They only had about 8 pages of story, and he went to Ed Harris to explain what he wanted to do with his character. Unfortunately, this is the final film that Don Simpson had a hand in producing because he died during the production of it. But thanks to him, we have a villain in this action movie that we can actually sympathize with. As I said before, the script wasn't very developed by the time they started shooting, so Nicolas Cage actually had a big hand in creating who Stanley Goodspeed was. Michael Bay wanted Stanley Goodspeed to be someone that was itching for action and wanted to get out there, but Nicolas Cage wanted him to be a little more reserved and hesitant to get out there into the field. He also took one small line from a late point in the movie, a line about the Elton John song Rocket Man, and extrapolated that Stanley Goodspeed might be a music buff.
First of all, it's because I'm a Beatlemaniac. And second, these sound better.
Some other well-known names fill out the cast. Leading the SEAL incursion onto the island is Michael Biehn, who gained fame playing Kyle Reese in the Terminator film as well as Corporal Hicks in Aliens. There's also appearances by William Forsythe, David Morse, John C. McGinley, Bokeem Woodbine, Tony Todd, the Candyman himself, Raymond Cruz, who played Tuco Salamanca on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And speaking of Breaking Bad, I think the cat's out of the bag at this point. I love this movie. There's not much I don't like about this movie. It's 2.5 hours long, and I never feel the length. Whenever I see it on TV, I have to stop whatever I'm doing and watch the rest of the movie. I can quote along with it because as a teenager, I watched it at least a couple dozen times with my friends, and we would quote it back and forth. I love the soundtrack. I bought it immediately after I saw the film. It had something I had never really heard before, which was this big orchestral score with a screaming electric guitar in the middle of it. And it's indicative of something that Hans Zimmer is known for, which is using different instruments to represent characters in the movie. And as I said earlier, Stanley Goodspeed is really into music, and in the beginning of the movie, he's seen playing an electric guitar. So finally, who should watch this film? First, I want to say something about Michael Bay. I think he kind of gets a bad rap these days. A lot of people hate on him, saying that he ruined their childhood because he made super successful film franchises about toys they had when they were kids. And while Bay does have his shortcomings as a filmmaker, I think going back to a movie like The Rock really lets you see how he takes his previous experience, which was in music videos, and apply it to film and create that aesthetic that he's known for. So whether you hate him or you love him, if you have strong feelings about Michael Bay, I think this film is important to see. And next we'll talk about Nicolas Cage. He's kind of become an action movie star in his own right, and seeing him in The Rock is kind of the genesis of him becoming an action movie star. And if you're itching to see a minecart chase, Sean Connery getting a haircut, and the most dangerous bath beads known to man,
Do not move that!
you have to check out this movie. Even if you've seen it, go watch it again. But I really want to know what you think. Have you seen The Rock? Did you like it? Are you a Michael Bay apologist? Are you a Michael Bay critic? Have you not seen it? Well, what are you waiting for? Go see it and then come back and comment down below. But until next time, I'm Levi the Garage Movie Guy, reporting from Alcatraz. Out. The Rock Stars? You get the... And he was ordering LPs on the internet in 1996. Michael J? Oh, I need to say Alcatraz. Franchises. There's stuff. There's lots of action. Ooh.